Hello everyone, welcome back to another Beer versus Beer. Just trying to get my camera lined up a little bit better here. Today we've got another battle for you. We have one of my favorite breweries, which is represented by these glasses, Andechs, Kloster Andechs. We've got their Festbier. You can see that because my lighting is terrible. And the Hofbräu Oktoberfestbier. Now, I believe this Hofbräu Oktoberfestbier is actually one of the official ones served at Oktoberfest in Munich, which is why it can call itself Oktoberfestbier, whereas Kloster Andechs just is called Festbier. So, percentages here. The Andechs Festbier comes in at 5.9%, and the Hofbräu Oktoberfestbier comes in at, where is it? Let's be on the back. Where did you label this? I know it has to be on here somewhere. Where did you put it? Interesting. So far, I'm having a hard time finding it. Where is it? Oh, 6.3%. So the Hofbräu is more, has more alcohol by volume. 6.3 versus 5.9. So now, typically, if I'm comparing the same style, I do consider a Märzen, even if it's called an Oktoberfestbier Märzen or a Festbier Märzen, I consider Märzen to be a different style than Festbier, even though Märzen was actually predates modern Festbiers as the typical beer served at Oktoberfest many years ago. But because the styles have changed so much since then, I do consider, if I'm doing a comparison within the same style, I do Festbier and Festbier, and then Märzen and Märzen. There will probably be, hopefully, if I can make it work out, one exception, which will be I want to do the Paulaner. They make a Märzen, a Festbier Märzen or Oktoberfestbier Märzen, and they make their regular Oktoberfest beer. And I do want to compare those to help me decide which style I prefer. I assume, based on ones I've had and on descriptions, especially on paper, I should like Märzen's better. I believe they're supposed to be a little bit more malty, a little sweeter, less hoppy bitterness. So on paper, that should suit me much better. All right, while I wait for that to settle, because there's obviously that was a bigger bottle. You can see, maybe you can see on camera, maybe you can't, but, oh, actually, I was going to say that it seemed at first to me that the Hofbräu was much darker, but it's actually really close. I really can't tell, like even if I switch them over, see, it might be slightly darker, but I mean, they both are fairly light, with a little bit of orange added in with the yellow. But anyway, let's go ahead and compare these. I do want to compare the Oktoberfest Märzen, Oktoberfest Märzen, and the Paulaner Oktoberfest Märzen. If I'm not mistaken, they're actually owned now. I think Paulaner bought out Oktoberfest, so I think they're part of the same company. So I'm interested in doing that. I kind of had a problem. So my local grocery store actually sells them, but they only come in 12 packs. And I usually don't buy 12 packs of beers because I like to try varieties. And so I usually get singles or 6 packs or 4 cans, you know. or 4 bottles for some German stuff. But my local bottle shop sells a lot of individuals. Unfortunately, they only sell the Hackrup and the Paulaner in 12 packs. So I bought, they ran out of the Hackrup really fast, so I picked up a Paulaner Oktoberfestbier Märzen, which I hadn't even seen before, so I grabbed it. And then since then, they've now come out. They're now selling at the grocery store the regular Oktoberfest beer, not the Märzen, by Paulaner, and they had the Hackrup in stock. But I had already decided that my comparison was going to be Eyinger Märzen. I literally just a couple days ago picked up Eyinger Märzen, a single, to compare with the Paulaner Märzen. And I didn't think I was going to get any other Märzens. Well, then I go to the store today, and they've got Hackrup back in stock, as well as the regular Paulaner. But I only have one Paulaner Märzen left, because that was like weeks ago that I bought it. So, and anyway, long story short, I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I might have to do a beer versus beer versus beer. I only picked up, I didn't pick up all 3 today. I wasn't doing that. I just bought the Hackrup and we'll figure out what we're going to do from there. But I also have a Tucha Festbier that I need to compare with something, so I'll probably do that against Hackrup as well. I don't know. We'll see. I've got a Tucha Festbier. I've got, oh no, I won't do it against Hackrup because that's a Märzen. So if I pick up the Paulaner Festbier, I'll probably do that comparison with the Tucha. But then I do want to compare Paulaner Märzen versus Paulaner regular Festbier or Oktoberfestbier, and against the Märzen of Hackrup versus the Märzen of. So I'll probably have to get another 12-pack of the Märzen. I know, first world problems. I really just don't. I don't like buying. Because one, I have started to try to get more into just lagers, especially German lagers, lately. So I don't mind it, but I typically do prefer heavier beers and darker beers, even though I do like lagers a lot, but you know, I typically like Doppelbocks and stouts and Weiss beers and sometimes a porter, and some, ales, Belgian stuff. So anyway, we're 8 minutes in, I haven't started talking about these beers yet. Okay, right on the nose, I'm going to say, and I do pronounce this Hofbräu, the umlaut over the A, the 2 dots over the A, combined with a U, makes the Oi sound, as does EU. EU next to each other, or A umlaut U, also make the Oi sound in German. So it's Hofbräu, not Hofbrau, Hofbräu, Oktoberfestbier. I will say this right off the bat. The Andechs immediately, much better smell for me. Much smoother. This is not, I wouldn't say it's skunky, especially compared to American beers, but it reminds me more of an American light lager. I mean, or even maybe a Mexican lager. It just, I like the smell of the Andechs better. The Hofbräu is a little bit more, I don't want to say pungent, but it's got a sharper note to it. So that's why. The Andechs. Let's go ahead and give these a taste. Oh wow, it's so smooth. Again, the retronasal adds a little bit more, or different notes to it. A little bit sharper, but still very smooth. Malt forward, I would say. It's on the Andechs. Very good though. Let me try to cleanse my palate a little bit. You guys know I love Andechs. A little more bitterness, but I wouldn't even. It's not a bitter beer. It's not like an IPA at all, or even a pale ale. Still very smooth. I'd say they have about the same amount of carbonation, maybe slightly more on the Andechs, but I feel like I feel it more on the Hofbräu. I think I know where this is going. Yeah, so definitely the Andechs for me. It's smoother. It is a little sweeter. Both are very smooth. Little bit of lingering bitterness, but I mean, the sort of slight bitterness you'll have from an American lager, like not an IPA or anything like that. Still very low on the IBUs. But yeah, I'd say I like that better. If you like a little bit sharper, more astringent, or a little bit more hoppy, then you might like the Hofbräu better. But I mean, one thing I look for in a Festbier in particular is you want something sessionable, which is a little ironic considering they're higher alcohol than their non-Festbier counterpart. But because of that, I would say I would get tired of the Hofbräu much sooner because of that added bitterness, whereas the Kloster Andechs Festbier is just so smooth, even a little bit sweet, that I could, but not overly cloying or overly sweet. It's just a sweeter, maybe. This is a way to put it. Like more of that. It does have a little bit of a sweet character to it, but sort of that maltiness. Maybe biscuity, which I just like better. So much more sessionable for me. And I just like the flavor better. You know, that's me though. To each their own. Anyway, Andechs takes this one over Hofbräu. Take care. See you in the next one.